Well, hello. This is Linda again. And by request, I'm going to be making some zucchini spaghetti today. And I make my own sauce to go with it. You can use any kind of sauce on it that you want. Any kind of sauce that you normally put on pasta or spaghetti, you can use on zucchini spaghetti noodles. And we're going to show you. First of all, I found if you put a non-slip mat, and in this case I got my baking sheet down because it's non-slip. I'm putting a flat pan with a lip on the edge to catch any liquid that comes out of this zucchini. And then I've got my, let's see if I can show you. Well, I may not be able to get it off of here. I got it pushed down. Well, let's see. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Let me see if I can get this unlocked this way. There. It has a locking mechanism on it. So it's real easy to pick up. I've got a thin spiral. I'm going to try that. I'm not sure. I think I normally use the thick one. But this has ribbon cut, thick spiral. Well, maybe we'll use the thick one. I've used that one before. And you can store those right in the underneath side of it. If I get them in there right. And they do lock in so they don't fall out. This is the front of it, but I have to have it facing me. But it's got a suction cup under the bottom. And it's got a little lever here that you can lock it. And when you push that the lever to lock it, it suctions down to this pan so it's not going anywhere. Just like that. Now, you'd have to pick up the pan to get that up. So, the pan is not going to slip on the pad, and my cutter's not going to slip on here because it's suctioned in. I'll go ahead and put my blade in. Move this all the way back. And I am going to cut the very end off. The small end, not the big end. Because I'm going to use this little tip. I'm going to leave that on there. It's going to go on this end. Yeah, I think it'll be. And that holds it securely. And then all I've got to do it's got a lever back here that you have to push. So as you're well, did I get that on wrong? I may have got it on backwards. It's been a while since I've used this. No, it's on right. It started cutting and I didn't think it did. But it kind of cores it as it's cutting. The trick is trying to pull it and do this at the same time. I found just kind of holding your fingers on it like that and pulling it tight will do the trick. And then if you don't want them too long, you can kind of stop the cutter every once in a while. And break it off so you don't have 5-foot long noodles. But you can see it's making spaghetti noodles, and they are pretty long. But I'm stopping it every once in a while because I don't want him too awfully long. And I may just use this one zucchini. I may not use this other one because I'm just fixing enough for myself to eat. I may go ahead and do both of them because this is a half a recipe to use 2 medium-sized to small zucchini. This is a half a recipe that I'm doing right now. And even that's going to be quite a bit to eat. So every once in a while, just break them off. I have to dry my fingers to get hold of this thing. But it's a handy little thing to have, and it's got several different blades on it of different cuts. And I'm breaking the inside core off. I'm not going to cook that. And these little zucchini, the good thing about them is you don't have to worry about seeds being in them. You can see one little zucchini makes quite a bit of noodles. Whoops. And there, see, I can stop it there and take that little end off. The stem where it was cut, and I don't waste any of my zucchini. So I'll go ahead and do the next one. Make sure I can get it on here. Sometimes if the zucchinis are real long, I'll cut them in half even and do it. Yeah, I'm breaking them off when I get them about 1 foot long. I should have done that in the beginning, but I didn't. So, and some of you may come across a better cutter than this. I mean, this works for me. Even though I have to kind of It's got a lever back here, but it's hard to push that lever. I feel like I'm going to break it off. So I'd rather just kind of pull that part of it with my hand rather than the lever. But see, look how long that is. And really, I didn't have any water coming out of these little ones. Look at that. That's the inside core. I know I've done it with the big zucchini. And oh my goodness, I had water dripping off the table. Now I've got little tomatoes that just ripened out of the garden, and I got a couple of them that are still green, but you know what? I'm even going to put the green ones in there. I'm just going to cut them in half. I'll probably have zucchini spaghetti to eat tomorrow too. And I've already washed these, even though my water is off. I have water in jugs stored for the necessities. I don't wash dishes with it, but I use it to cook, make coffee, wash my hands and face, or take a bird bath, as I call it. So these are clean. Now some of the little ones I may not even cut. I don't know. They'll do better in the dish if you cut them. At least cut them in half. Now the recipe calls for 2 medium tomatoes chopped to 4 zucchinis that are spiraled. But I'm just going to use these little tomatoes because I want to use them up, get them off the counter. They were the last ones I got out of the garden. And I'm doing this because, you know, I want to show you this before I move the camera. I'll put these ingredients over here. Put all my zucchini noodles in this plate so I can get them over to the stove. Now I think this pan will be just about right to fix it in. So now I'm going to go ahead and see if I can move this camera so you'll get a close-up of me cooking it without me turning the camera off. I'm going to try to. I put the legs down on the tripod. So just bear with me a minute. Now, yeah, that'll give you a good view of me cooking it. Because a lot of people, they want to see what you're doing. So this is a good way to see what I'm doing. Now you'll need enough olive oil, virgin olive oil. A couple of tablespoons. 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And I'm not measuring it, I'm just guessing at it. And I'm going to put garlic. Where's my garlic? Oh, right here. And I don't think I'll be able to. Maybe it'll reach down in there. You need one. I'm going to put a half a tablespoon of garlic because the recipe calls for a whole tablespoon. You know, I like garlic, so I'm going to put a little bit more. But if you're cooking it with 4 little zucchini, the average is about 1 tablespoon of garlic. Now, you can use crushed garlic. You can use fresh garlic, any of the garlic you want to use. I just happen to have minced garlic already chopped, so that's what I'm using. I'm going to put in about a half a teaspoon of crushed red garlic. More if you like it hot. Okay, when the oil bubbles around the garlic, you're going to add your zucchini. You see, that pan was just about right for 2 zucchini. And I'm just going to take tongs and I'm going to keep stirring this around until I cook my zucchini al dente, if you know what that means. It still means it's kind of firm, but it is cooked. The same way a lot of people will do their spaghetti noodles. You don't want them mushy. So if you get the smaller zucchini, it's not going to have as much water in them as the bigger ones do. But I do that as a precaution because, like I said, the first time I used it, I used the big zucchini because that's what came out of my garden. And I had zucchini liquid running off of the table. And I said, well, that's never going to happen again. I'm not going to take the chance with zucchini, squash, or anything that I cut in that cutter without putting some kind of tray under it to catch the liquid that might come out. So if you have a larger family, this is quite a bit of spaghetti noodles right here, zucchini noodles. That's going to make 2 good meals for me. So if you cook 4 zucchini with the sauce, a full recipe, you've got enough for 5 or 6 people. If you give them 1 serving each. Now, if you got a family that loves 3 or 4 different servings, well, you're going to have to fix quite a bit more. And the good thing about it, you know, if you undercook it a little bit, it doesn't matter because you can eat zucchini raw. And this is a quick, easy dish. And like I said, you can put any kind of pasta sauce on this you want. You can just put regular spaghetti squash, marinara sauce. I was trying to think of the other sauce and it just kind of like went out of my head. But just remember this, any type of a sauce that you can put on spaghetti or pasta, you can put on zucchini spaghetti. And again, just keep tossing it as it cooks to try to get it evenly cooked. And Susie is one of my subscribers that wanted me to, she said, I want to see you fix zucchini spaghetti. So I'm doing this for her. And I like it with just simple garlic sauce on it myself. And you know what? Since I'm not using fresh basil, I'm using dried basil. I'm going to go ahead and put about a half a cup of my basil in there. So it'll have time to hydrate. Now, in the full recipe, you would put 1 whole cup. I'll let steam get in there. So I'm just going to toss that around with the basil and the noodles so that dried basil will have time to hydrate. So, because you can use dried basil or fresh basil. Fresh basil was probably better, but you know, you can get away with using the dry basil too. And now I'm simply going to take my noodles, drip some of the liquid off of it. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off because I don't want it to dry out all of my liquid. Put my noodles in a plate. And if you don't like hot peppers, don't You don't have to put hot pepper flakes in there. I don't mind a little bit of heat myself. I think it adds flavor. So now what we're going to do is add about 2 teaspoons of water. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of cornstarch. That's salt. I need cornstarch. Just regular cornstarch. And like I said, I don't need to put quite as much in there. Put not quite a teaspoon of cornstarch in there. Oh, wait a minute. You know, I jumped the gun. I wasn't supposed to take that out yet. Let's put this back in there. Gotta cook it a little bit more. That was one of my bloopers, y'all. Now is when I put my tomatoes. And like I said, my basil. I'm going to put in, see how much they call for on the full. About a 1/2 cup of shredded cheese. They put in about a 1/2 cup for the full recipe. So I'm going to just sprinkle in about 1/4 cup of Parmesan. What I think is about 1/4 cup. And that should do it. And I'm also going to put in my cornstarch. Probably need just a little bit more of that water in there to get that out. I made it before with spaghetti sauce or marinara sauce, one or the other, I don't remember which. But you just want to get it mixed up good. I was used to taking the noodles out first, putting them in my plate because I was already going to, already had my sauce. And maybe I made my sauce in a different pan with ground beef in it or something, and then I would just spoon my sauce on top of it. And you only cook this for 1 minute after you put all this stuff in there. Just basically enough time to get it mixed up good. So that's been 1 minute. Now I'm going to take it back. And put it on my plate. Look at those spaghetti noodles. That was a never-ending one. And I need another spoon because I'm getting cheese kind of stuck in my tongs. And I want them all in my dish. And I think if you want to make it keto friendly, I think that's what they call it, just leave the cheese out. But hey, who wants to leave the cheese out? You know? And I may have overdone my noodles just a tiny bit, but that's okay. That is perfectly okay. But there y'all go. There is my zucchini spaghetti. And in this case, like I said, I put a garlic sauce on my zucchini spaghetti instead of like a spaghetti sauce, a tomato sauce, but you can use any of them. But there you go, y'all. I got to try it. I got to taste it. I think it was like last summer since I have fixed this dish. Let me clean this plate up a little bit. I hate to have it on camera and it nasty looking with foods everywhere. Let me get one of them pieces of... It's just like spaghetti, I tell you. You got to wind it up on your fork. And hope you get to the end of it. That's the reason I was constantly cutting part of it off. And I wanted to get a piece of tomato on there. But look at that. Doesn't that look good? Y'all take a bite. Mmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think I undercooked my noodles just a tiny bit. I could have cooked them just a little bit longer, but I didn't want them mushy. But the way they are right now, they're al dente, so that is a good way to fix them when, you know, if you want to eat them al dente. But there y'all go. There is my zucchini spaghetti. Try some. I think you'll love it. And experiment. Put marinara sauce on it. Put spaghetti sauce. Put Alfredo sauce. Make the garlic salt like I did. The garlic sauce. It's real good. Any of them would be good on it. So with that, I'm going to wish you a good day, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye now.